Hello, guys. Welcome once again to this humble channel. If you're not subscribed, remember to click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe, like, and comment on our videos, guys. And you can also join our membership, guys. Join our membership with special perks. So today we're going to be talking about the episode 9 of Ready to Love, season 8. Today's episode was something else. I mean, something else. But before let's just take it step by step. Firstly, today we had the episode where they will all be in, a closed space, sometimes in the house, the big mansion. This episode has been going on for a while. I think like from 3 seasons ago. I think it
Mhm.
started during COVID time. I think that was when it started uh this ranch stuff. And anytime they do this, there is always something going on because I think it is easier for them when they are dating separately. You have four connections, and those four connections are separately. They don't get to meet each other. Then you coming into the house, everybody is there at the same time, and you have different connections, and they are all looking at themselves and looking at you. There's surely gonna be issues right there. And that's what's always I always love these episodes. I always love when they get to the part where they have to be in this house because it's always giving the most interesting and the most fun because a lot of them get to piece themselves up. And the first, like, I knew this garden was going to be the only time they were going to have fun. I knew after this time they were laughing in the lounge, all hell was going to break loose. But I didn't expect the first hell to break loose. Was going to be Janelle. When she was speaking here with Jessica, talking about Quinton being her only date. I noticed something when she was talking that I feel like she's in lost, not in love. She's in lost with Quinton. When she's talking about him, talking about his body, talking about how sexy he is, those kind of things. I know, yes, that might some those kind of things might attract you to a guy. But if you continuously keep on talking about that about a guy, I feel like she's more of in a lust with him and also himself and also he himself, I feel like he himself is also in lust with her because he came in there, with his legs open and be like, "Oh, I just want to show you this so that you have me imprinted on your mind." And I'm like, okay, do they really have that deep connection that they deceive themselves that they have? Really? Then going to this place, this was like one of my highlights of today's episode where, oh my god, Quentin was, grilling up on the grills, trying to, make something for the whole house, trying to have fun. And he was literally open chested, he was literally naked. And Kat right now doesn't really have any connection in the house. And she's like, okay, let me take this opportunity, move around, flirt around, see if there's anybody that I could get like a connection with. Wow. And she was pointing, they were like flirting each other with the, being naked and everything. And Janelle from nowhere, I mean, from absolutely nowhere, came out and be like, "Oh, you're naked." And at first, Kat was trying to be like, chill about it, try to be understanding. But she started taking it where I didn't understand by being like, "Oh, he's my man." Oh, I was like, how is he your man? Did he put a ring on your fingers? I don't understand all those snacky comments she was making at Catherine over the guy. You could literally even see the disgust in Quentin's face because he himself was shocked by what was happening and the response um Janelle was giving at Cass when Cass was innocent. Kat is a better version of me because if I was the one in that position where Janelle was saying all those things she was saying, huh, I know for the life of me, I would have literally kissed Quinton. Let me see whether she's gonna do something worse than what she's doing, because I'm standing there innocently. I'm not doing anything bad out of the books, and you are literally making snappy comments coming at me, trying to be what you like. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, we know that Janelle is very jealous. She still gives me those auntie vibes. I don't care what nobody say. I think she was misplaced in that season because all the guys are younger than her. You know, uh, the only one that looked maybe close to her age, maybe Uncle Phil. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
still think Phil's in his 30s, I believe. You know, but she's too possessive. If you're dating, you're dating. That nothing is like real intentional. Like we're gonna marry, that we're gonna be together forever. This is still a process. And she already staked
Yeah.
her claim. On Quinton, and who else was she talking to back then? Herbert. You know, and once she seen that Herbert wasn't gonna give her what she wanted, she started focusing dead on Quinton. You know, so
She's giving me stalker girlfriend vibes.
yeah, and yeah, and if I was Cat, with all that back and forth, I don't go back and forth with no female, seriously. You know, uh, I wouldn't have been on the show too long because they would have been like, okay, we're gonna have to get her off the show. She's too much to handle, you know. But yeah, Cat, she handled it with grace. She really did, you know.
With so much grace, because that cannot be me.
Yeah, I mean, Janelle was just off the wall. The stuff that she was saying, I mean, ooh, I couldn't believe some of the stuff that was coming out of her mouth. It was just so nasty, so ugly, so bitter. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she didn't say anything to even make you go that direction with her, but yet you do. So it just kind of made me take marks off for Janelle. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
It's like
yeah.
Janelle, I don't dig you. I don't. You don't represent, you know, uh, us thick women. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Because you're just too nasty. You know. So yeah, I just didn't like that part. And I love Kat. Kat is intelligent. She's smart. She's beautiful. You know, and she's very poised. You know.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Like,
So go ahead.
for me, I felt like it didn't make any ounce of sense in any way at all. I was like, what's this lady? And she was trying to be like, what even pissed me off the most was how she was trying to be like sharp mouths, and like, all those, when you're insulting someone and coughing and talking slowly but still proving your point, trying to be like this bad bitch, it wasn't doing it. I'm like, over a guy that hasn't said I'm gonna marry you, or hasn't given you a ring.
True. Very true.
I don't know.
Her
You want to say
jealousy is
something?
just way over the top. You know what I'm saying?
I do, one thing I do dislike is that I hate it when girls fight over a guy.
True.
I hate, as in with everything in me, when I see two ladies fighting over a guy. My question is why would you fight? I'm not even talking about, even if it's you as a lady, you're fighting for a guy. My question will always be why? Why should you be fighting for this guy?
Right.
Why should you get to the stage where you have to fight for this guy? And sometimes you might not even win the battle. And at the end of the day, you fought the battle and lost. That's even more painful.
Right. Well, Janelle, she has jealousy issues.
Oh no,
Anybody
no.
who's in great shape, you know, that's pretty, she has an issue with. She can't congratulate a beautiful woman like, wow, you look great. Hey, you're cute. You know what I'm saying? She's
See, at the
just,
end of it,
everything about
yeah.
her is just pure jealousy.
See, at the end of the day, her jealousy at needs to take a back seat because it doesn't make sense to me. The jealousy has to take a back seat. I like Janelle because she looks, she's beautiful, she's big, she's bold. She had, as I look up to her, like, okay, this lady knows she carries herself well. But seeing her in today's episode, I'm like, no, no. She did not carry herself well at all. Especially when I saw the expression this guy was giving. What's his name? Quinton. The way
Oh,
he like did
yeah.
his face. That was already enough for me to be like, you were embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, he was kind of giving her that
And
side eye, like, what's going
yeah,
on with you?
especially and if Quinton could not come in your defense or for your defense or against your defense anyway, why should I be fighting the battle that the person I'm fighting for is not even coming for my defense or against my, at least be choose one side. He kept quiet.
Oh, yeah. He kept quiet. And, I think he kind of likes Cat, but he's afraid to like Cat because he don't want Janelle to beat him up.
Ah, I feel like Quentin is a I think I'm leaning towards the fact that Quentin is not here for love. He's not ready to love. He's here for something else.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. If you when you check on because I follow all of them on Instagram and
Mhm.
I check up on them, check up their posts and their stories, especially
Mhm.
during the time the episode is airing. Some of them I want to post some kind of things.
Mhm.
And this guy literally hardly posts about the show.
He hasn't.
If he posts, it's like once in every 3 episodes.
Mm.
Why every other person is posting, talking about, or if something happened on the show, maybe they're trying to clarify, okay, this is what I meant when I did this, they would post it on either their story or they post on their normal, post. This guy hardly posts about it. He's always, I understand, his page is mostly on his fitness stuff, but still, Lee also has a fitness stuff, but she still posts about the show.
Mm. Okay.
So already I'm having this thing that he is not ready to love. He's just here to boast and get himself known as this fitness guy. You know, Normally you see someone that has that kind of body and you're thinking of hitting the gym, trying to train. You see that kind of person that has that kind of body on TV, you would want to inquire from him or want to hire him to be either your trainer or whatever thing to get you to probably how he is. So I feel like he's using it as a cheap publicity stunt and nothing else. I might
Yeah.
be wrong. That's my own opinion. Of course, everything we say is allegedly and of our own opinions.
Yeah, I mean, you could very well be right. I just can't see, honestly. Janelle is just too demanding. It's like, pick me, pick me, pick me. I'm here, I'm here. I don't know. Uh, are a lot of women like this? You know, Me, I'm not gonna fight over a guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna even argue over a guy. Now, over my husband, that's something different. While I'm dating, no, definitely not. You know, and because everybody has options. You know what I'm saying? When you're dating, that means you have options. Your options aren't closed off because you're dating. You know, so yeah, I'm not gonna argue or fight over somebody I'm dating. No. But if we're in a committed relationship, yeah, somebody's fixing to get the old knuckle sandwich.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
go ahead.
I literally well, we'll just have to see whether that is what he's for, or he really, really does like Janelle. Now, this episode was packed. I'm gonna say I kind of enjoyed this episode. Then we had this part where he was talking to her and was like, I want to, I feel like she's that kind of girl that little things gets her. Like, you say the smallest things and she's falling, she's rolling, she's crawling. In any way you can fall in love, she's there.
Right. I believe that she really wants to be in love. I mean, because she has a timeline,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I mean, at the age of 40, you would have figured you'd have been starting at like 35. You know what I'm saying? To kind of get real intentional and serious about somebody. But then you have some
Yeah.
women that, hey, my career is my career. That's my baby first. Once I'm good in this career, then I can go out and look for love. So maybe that might be her case, you know. But it's just like she wants everything to just be so quick, so fast. You know, it takes 9 months to have a baby. I mean, it should take a little longer to get to know a mate. You know what I'm saying? Because once you have that baby's here for eternity, life. Past 18, you're still taking care of it and giving it your all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
she wants the baby more than she wants the relationship. Who knows?
But on a side note, what is Aries still doing with Phil?
What is my position on Phil?
What's Aries still doing with Phil?
Oh, I didn't really know what that was really all about. I guess Phil was just basically trying to see if there was just anything, you know. He didn't want to rule it out or make it seem like he's just straight into Aries because he is. Aries is the one that he's looking at constantly, you know. So I
But
didn't really
I'm
get
not even
that.
talking about Phil, because from Phil perspective, yes. Let me bring down this picture so we can talk more on it. I know from Phil's perspective,
Hmm.
Phil is so in love with Aries. Undeniable. We know that. Settled.
Right.
But from Aries' perspective, with the way she has explained the kind of man she wants, the kind of man she's going for, the kind of person she's aiming for, I do feel that Phil is not to the standard that she has told us several times that that's her goal in a man.
Right. I mean, but she really doesn't have too many connections. Her and Chris. I mean, Chris, I see like her little brother, not like really a love interest. You know what I'm saying?
It's not about her not having a clean connection with Chris. Did she try to make the see? Let's stop blaming that there's no connection. There are two different things. Did you give yourself a chance to be able to have the connection?
I'm sorry, could you say that again? Your voice is going in and out.
I said, you said she didn't have the connection with Chris.
Right.
Now I'm saying it's not about her not having the connection with Chris. It's about, did she allow herself enough to give herself the chance to create that connection with Chris?
No, I don't think she did. I think the time when they went on that date, and he kind of like broke down and started crying a little bit. I think she kind of took a step back, like, okay, wait a minute. He maybe he's too sensitive for me. You know what I'm saying? She has boys already. She's not really trying to raise a man, you know. So I think she just kind of like backed off, and then she was more into Phil.
Hmm.
From what
Well,
I could from what I can see,
mhm,
Phil was more direct. Phil was more hands-on, Phil was more like, let me give you this hug, let me kiss you on the
yeah,
side of
yes,
your
yeah.
cheek.
Phil was like that,
Yeah.
but
Where
I
Chris
was
really
looking at,
wasn't like that. Chris wasn't really
yeah.
like that.
But I'm looking at a bigger picture right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at a bigger picture that he's not the kind of man. When a lady envision the kind of man she wants for herself, and we know Aries is not a young lady. It's not her first rodeo in marriage.
Right.
Now we take all those things in perspective. This is not her first rodeo in marriage. This is not her first man she has been with, and she already knows her standards. She has set her standards that this is what I want in a marriage, so what I want in a relationship. Now those standards are not being met by Phil. I feel like because she's that matured in marriage, I don't think it's gonna go well.
Mm. Okay.
That's how I feel.
Well, I mean, I definitely wish them luck. I mean, I I couldn't see nobody else for Aries but Phil. The only thing that kind of makes me skeptical about Phil is, he doesn't really know, like, maybe he might be into this type of job for 3 or 4 years and then he switched careers. He's a career switcher, you know, and I don't know if Aries is going to be able to handle that because, she's trying to run her household.
Exactly,
And,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, like when they were playing that game night and they were talking about gender roles, you know, I do believe
Oh, no,
Aries.
let's not talk about that. We'll go down to that part.
Okay.
We'll go down to that part. But I just feel like she should. Well, I think at this moment of time, at this moment in time in the experiment, I think Chris has finally washed off his hands of Aries.
Hmm.
He has finally washed off his hands. He's no longer interested in Aries.
Yeah, I think he's more interested in Lee.
And I'm glad that I saw him and Lee. For once, they showed us him and Lee, because I also know that he has a great connection with Lee, which they don't show us on the show. So I'm glad that for today's episode, they were able to show us Lee and Chris's um relationship. But at the same time, I am been trusting on Chris a lot, because the guy is also like always wanting to talk to different ladies, trying to be cool and cordial with them so as to push himself to this show longer. So I'm not also trusting him. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I get you.
I'm also trusting him. Yes. Give me something to work with.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
at least
well, him and Jessica really, that just didn't seem like it was going to work out from the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, because Jessica just seemed uninterested, really, you know, from the very first date when they had the little office date. She just seemed uninterested.
I don't think she seemed uninterested. I feel like it was stemming from the fact that he has a certain kind of woman in his mind, in his head, and she doesn't have those qualities he wants. So I think he on his own, he might not have known it, but he was unintentionally shutting her down. Then as an intelligent lady that she is, she grabbed the message on time so as not to make herself a fool.
Right.
That's just what I feel. Now let's go to this game night. Ooh, game night. Whenever I hear game and couples, I know that it's gonna be brutal. A lot of things are gonna happen. Firstly, let's talk about one thing that happened in this game night that I don't understand, and I feel like somebody be lying to us,
Okay.
and that is Maurier and Sierra. Maurier was asked a question during the game night, and I think he said, "Have you been loved?" And if you've not been loved, then why? I think that was how the question went. And Maurice said he has never, ever felt love, right?
Right.
But I remember it started looking fishy to me. I remember he has a kid, right?
Right.
So okay, let's accept that. Yeah, you can literally have kids with somebody that you do not love. Okay, I'm gonna make that excuse for him. But I also remember the ex-girlfriend he brought on the show. He was like, she's my soulmate. I don't know. And I messed that up. He said
Yeah.
that.
He sure
So
did.
me hearing him later now saying that he has never ever experienced love, and that's why he's on this show to know what love is, to experience what love is, that's giving fakish, fakeness.
Yeah, that was a little bit odd, considering, yeah, he brought his ex girlfriend on the show and who did admit that, she was like the love of his life, you know, and it's just crazy, that he kind of switch hit it on us, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of like went around and was like, "Oh no, I've never been in love," and and I'm saying to myself, like, is he a virgin? You know what I'm saying? You can't be a virgin. Don't you have a kid? So yeah, that was kind of strange. Maybe he forgot he said all that on the show or something.
Sometimes that's one thing about lies. When you tell lies, you cannot keep up with it. But I also feel like he wanted to use it to gain sympathy. He wanted to use it to gain sympathy because now Sierra hearing it, she was like, "Oh, you know what? You've never got in love. Okay, I'll show you more. I will show you more." I feel like he was trying to, you know, create himself in a good light. Everybody want to hear a good. Everybody likes a good story, and what's better story for you to hear that? Oh, he has never experienced love before in his life.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. I mean, as old as he is, you would think that he dated in his teens, 20s. Now he's in his 30s. I'm pretty sure he's dated around. But yeah, it just seemed a little fishy.
Well, I didn't just like him there because I like Sierra in a certain way. I felt like playing with her mind. He's playing mind games so as to go more further on the show. And I'm like, how far do you want to go? The show is almost coming to an end. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't really have any like real good connections. I mean, she kind of liked Herbert, and didn't she like Habib?
Hmm.
Didn't she kind of like Habib at the beginning? What she really didn't. To me, it didn't seem like she really had a love interest type of connection. It just seems like, she was looking for friends.
Well, I just hope. Well, I hope it's actually turned out well for her. Now, let's go to the second issue in this game, and that's Chris, my guy, and Jessica.
Hmm.
Wow. For me, I'm gonna say this. I've always said I don't like Chris because he's my guy. He's from my country. He's from my tribe.
Hmm.
So sometimes the things he says, the way he been saying, be pissing me off. But irrespective of that, I do understand where he was coming from when he said women are meant to be, provided for, because that is mostly most of the things like that's like 80% of the tradition in our place down here in Nigeria. We believe that the men are meant to go out there, work hard, then come back home and spend it on us, the
Right.
women. You know, that is how it
Hmm.
is. So I do understand where his was coming from. Now, the only thing I do have an issue with was
Hmm.
his delivery,
Okay.
because I realized that there is there's a way you will present A to somebody, it will look like B, the person receiving it. And with that, you have not done a good job if you're trying to explain A and the person is receiving B. And I feel like that was the problem, because I feel like there's some people that understood where he was coming from, and that was Lee and that was Katrina. They understood where he was coming from. But I understand that it's not everybody that would understand what um it's not everybody that would understand where you're coming from. Some people would take it out of context. Some people will not understand the punchline you're trying to bring.
Hmm.
So I feel like at that moment, he fucked up by not explaining it very well, that even the layman will understand where he's coming from, and literally he's not coming from a malicious place. I don't see a fault in what he said, but I felt like it was malicious. It came off as being narcissistic. And when Jessica decided to say, okay, fine, I do understand where you're coming from, but let me explain where I am coming from. And he didn't allow her talk. Then he flared up, he became agitated. And when he was in his confessionals, was like, oh, Jessica will be all those old ladies later, all those 60-year-old ladies they are looking for husbands to get married to because of their attitude. I said to myself, this guy is giving me narcissistic vibes. It's giving me red flag right now, because you expressed your own feelings. You expressed what you wanted to express. Now she's trying to express how she's feeling to you so that you two understand where she's coming from. You're getting pissed off. And you're saying she will not marry. She's all this kind of person that they will not get married on time. I felt like that gave me narcissistic vibes, like misogynist. Like it wasn't doing it for me at all. I'm not saying that he's wrong in what he said, but I don't agree in his delivery, and I don't agree in him hating on Jessica because she's trying to explain to you her own point of view. which you have they've already allowed you to explain.
Right. He did cut her off, in mid sentence, you know. But you know, Jessica, it seems like she needs a strong man. You know what I'm saying? And Chris,
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like a little kid compared to her. She seems like she's had experiences and she knows what she wants. She's a boss. She has her own company. I don't know if she has children, but she just seems like she, don't really understand, like, when they ask the question about the gender roles, you know um and Chris was saying, he believes that the man should be the man of the house and the woman shouldn't have to pay any bills, you know and
Yeah.
yeah, he didn't really let her get her point across before he just cut her off, and in midstream, she kind of did like a really hard eye roll. I don't know if you caught that. Did you catch the
Well,
eye roll that she did? Yeah, she did a really hard eye roll. Like, uh, I just like she just wanted him to shut the heck up, you
uh-huh.
know, and just give her a chance to kind of express herself, because his mentality feels like, hey, she's combative. No, I don't think she's really combative. She just seems like a woman who knows what she wants.
Yeah. And I felt like it was wrong of him to flare up. You are complaining of how Jessica is not gentle, how she's problematic. You turned out to be the ungentle one. You turned out to be the one that is argumentative, all those kind of things. So why do you escape or accuse somebody else for your issues?
Right. And I think Chris, he tries to be tender to who he wants to pursue, but if he's not pursuing you, and if you're coming off kind of harsh to him, I feel like, yeah, he's the type of guy who will let you have it.
Yeah, you know, I literally I don't know. I was pissed off in this part, really pissed off. Like, Jessica, kudos to you. Because if it were me, I would stand up from that seat and go straight to the tricks of this guy and bite it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think Jessica just didn't really meet, the kind of gentleman that she was just looking for. I think she was basically just there, just waiting it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't really see where she put it any effort except for when she was making Marielle's plate. When she said, "Hey, yeah, I'm gonna make his plate for him, and I'm gonna even pick up his plate when he's done and take him dessert." Yeah, there she was intentional. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's because, hey, it was her only person that she could gravitate towards, because basically everybody else was wrapped up. You know, so I don't know if that's when she gave uh, Maurier her attention.
I was even surprised by Sierra. Sierra saying that she had had sex with the same sex. Like, is that what it should be? Do they say those kind of things on house parties? I don't think so. I literally don't think so at all.
Yeah, Sierra, I think she was a good person, but it's just, whatever she was looking for, it just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she's a little animated, in almost everything that she does, but that's just part of her personality. That's what makes her her. You know what I'm saying? And I just think she couldn't find the right person for her, and she was out of options, because I think she felt like Maurier was like a like a friend, like a homeboy to her. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning. So once Herbert was gone, there was like no more pickings, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody else already had picked who they wanted to be with. So I knew it was just going to be a matter of time for her.
And another issue that happened is this two again going at it. Did you feel like Janelle went at Kat probably because of the previous incidents?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Um,
do. Janelle, she seems like the type of woman that likes to over argue women, when she feels threatened or feel like you're going to take something from her. She seems like the type that will just go over and beyond. I didn't like her comments. I didn't appreciate any of that. Like, they weren't, Kat wasn't even cursing at her. So, you're calling Kat all out of her name, and, you know, um, Kat did tell her, your attitude is making you look ugly, which it was. You know what I'm saying? She jumped way out of character to personally attack Kat, over a game. So I
yeah,
didn't really get that. I mean, she called her a bitch, and then she called them raggedy ass bitches, and big Barbie, and ugly ass bitches, and like, baby, like, why are you doing this to these women? Why are you tearing them down? Because you're having an issue with them because you think that she wants Quinton.
hmm
That's how I seen it. She felt threatened. Because when they were out there barbecuing, Quinton had on the apron, and Kat was out there trying to talk to him. It's like, girl, she must have heard through the sliding door because she came out there so quick. I was like, how did she was just in the kitchen with Lee? Now, how the heck did she hear anything? She must have heard the, the, her voice some type of way through the walls, through the sliding door, because she was out and was like, basically, that's my man, and
yeah,
and he's spoken for, and it's like, goodness gracious, jump all over the woman. You know what I'm saying? She's just simply talking, but she feels like she has Quentin all wrapped up. Are you still with me? Okay. Yeah, it just seemed like, all the cursing and calling these women out of their names just wasn't cool, wasn't cool, wasn't a good look for Janelle, and I could tell that Quentin didn't like it either, you know. I mean, none of the guys really liked it. They were trying to tell her, simmer down, calm down. Yeah, I'm that bitch. I'm that bitch that's gonna be here and that's gonna stay forever. And, whatever else she said. It was just like she was just going on and on, and it's like Quentin just seemed like he didn't know how to control her, how to stop her, how to, you know, uh, bring her attention back to him. You know what I'm saying? It's just like she blacked out. So that was just kind of crazy to see.
yeah. And this part here, like I felt like going back to Janelle, she did enough today that sorry in the previous episode that I did not like. represented badly. The way she was going at it, going hard for any other person that, kind of side up with her in a different way, that's a crime.
Right.
So I did feel like probably the fight from earlier on when she fought with Kat because of Quinton, I thought that was what they literally, you know. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
No, I
You
was
wanted to
just
say
gonna.
something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. She was fighting that way back with Taquilla. You know, she didn't care for Taquilla. And that's when the episode basically first started. It just seems like anybody who steps in the spotlight for too long, she doesn't like it. you
Mm,
know that's what I see. And it just seems like her nature, she's a jealous woman. And she's beautiful. She doesn't have no reason to be jealous, but she's just jealous. The body language, the way she talks, the way she looks at these women, all upside their head. It's not a good look.
you know. Yes, I want to see how it's gonna like I say, Kat is a very cool person because if I was the one in that altercation, I literally know that we'll be talking about something, so something else, something different, something in total. Now the what like made me like, oh, this lady is just joking was when they went for this workout session the next day. Oh my god. I was like, this is where somebody said I was discussing the show with somebody earlier and someone said the only reason why Janelle came here was to put her eyes on Quinton and nothing else. She wasn't there for the workout. She was lazy for the workout, but she was just there to make sure that Quinton is putting his best, you know, character on and not being any other ladies. But I said this should have been an eye opener enough. Since I started to ignore all this while that we've been seeing that Quentin and her, it doesn't just make sense. This should have been another reason why she should have talked to herself and said, wow, what is going on? Because look at the way he was happy with Lee. And he's saying his confessionals that he has been looking for a way to get into her class of her stepping, of her step class. He has been waiting for a way to get into her class. And now he got the real deal free of charge. And he was literally having, look at him exercising, bouncing, stepping, ignoring, like having the most fun.
Right.
Shouldn't look at her face? Shouldn't you have that moment to realize that something might be off? Like this guy wanting me. We're not. I'm not saying that there are not some guys that are slim figured, muscled, and like a little bit of flesh. I'm not saying that.
Right.
We have those kind of guys.
Right.
But when you have those kind of guys, you will see it in their attitude and their characters that, oh yes, this guy likes a little bit of flesh.
Right.
But this particular one, I can say it. I don't see him liking somebody of Janelle's body type. And that's not coming from a place of hurt or a place of like trying to insult her or bring her down. No. It's coming from a place of that's how I feel. And I watched the show and I'm like, when will she realize that this guy is not cut out for her?
Right. I think she likes a lot of things about Quentin. I mean, you know, the way he's built, the way he's attentive to her, you know. Um, but Quentin, he seems like he's a very active person, you know, whereas she doesn't seem like she's really active. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't
Hmm.
seem like she works out, you know. Um, you could tell that she was upset because, she was, when they first started stepping, she had her arms crossed, like, I'm not about to do this, like she didn't want to sweat, you know. She didn't want to get into it. She was rolling her eyes and the whole 9 yards, and then it kind of tripped me out that she had the biggest eye roll ever after the class when Quinton, and Lee did the high five. It was
Hmm.
like she didn't like that at all, so she might be coming for Lee next episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because yeah,
I
especially if she gets a hold of what Quentin said about Lee, that Lee is intriguing and attractive. With words like that, I'd
yeah.
back up off of a guy. If he thought that another woman was intriguing and attractive, yeah, I'd be like, you know what, you going and do you, because I gotta continue to do me.
I've told you before that Quentin is really not here for love. And he's giving that attitude. One moment, Lee is looking attractive to him. Another moment, oh, Janelle. He's confusing himself, not me. I literally
Exactly.
know that at the reunion we'll get to know a lot of details. But for now, I know he's confusing himself. One moment, oh, I like the way she does this. Then you complain. He's that kind of guy that will complain about the littlest thing, the smallest thing. And did you get the part? Yeah. Thank God I remembered. Did
Mm.
you get the part where him and he and Kat were speaking, and she was like, "Have you gotten the thing she wanted in this experience?" And was like, "Oh, what brought you here to discussing that?" And he said the reason why is because he doesn't like being lonely. You get that part?
Mm. Yeah.
That alone is already a red flag. Yes. When a guy tells you, or a girl, let me generalize it. A guy or a girl tells you, I don't like being lonely. That is see, that is a very big thing. It might not look big, but when you weigh the scenario, it's a very big thing because that word is very, very long. I don't like being lonely might be that okay, you have a spouse that doesn't like being lonely. Maybe you have to go for a job or you have to travel out of the country. You have to be away from your spouse or be away from a person. And the person don't like being lonely. The next person that will give that person, your partner, a little bit of smile, a little bit of attention during the period you're away, just because they have that thing of I don't like being lonely.
Right.
It
Right.
turns, it might be emotionally he will start cheating on you, or she will start cheating on you, and they might even go further. That is why I don't like listening. Once anybody, let's say as a girl, like a guy tells me, I don't like being lonely. That's the conversation ended. Zip block, you're blocked, you're short, everything ended. Yes, that's how I am because I can't deal with somebody that you can't be on your own. Sometimes you have to be on your own to think about great ideas, to realize some certain things. And if you say that you are there because you can't be on your own, you can't be lonely, oh no.
Well, a person who always saying that they can't be lonely, they're gonna always seek somebody's attention if you're not there to give it to them. So I completely
Yeah.
agree with that. That is a red flag. You know, but in relationships, sometimes you do have to be lonely. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you do have to be lonely. Hell, you could be in a relationship and still be lonely. You know, so
Eh, that is at that time. um it's just that that is the problem of your partner. That's the problem of that your partner is a bad partner. You
Mhm.
get it? Yes, we've had partners like that where your partners is like that. Because I remember my last relationship. I was in a relationship, but I knew that I was feeling lonely because it felt like I was the only one in the relationship. You
Mm.
get, and I had to leave because I value myself and I know what I want for myself. I left,
Right.
but doesn't see in relation me. I realized that relationship is not easy. To be in a relationship before we get to marriage and everything, it's not easy, and you cannot as much as it's not easy, you cannot rush it.
No, you can't.
The worst thing you can do for yourself is to sit down and think of, oh, I want to rush myself. I want to be married. Blah, blah, blah. And it's not like you have a boyfriend or a fiance that you've dated for a while. Let's say, okay, fine. Yes, you've dated for a long while. Then you're just anticipating the wedding. You've just met a guy recently and you're thinking of married. That's where I don't understand, why should be thinking like that. Because that's the wrongest of thing you would do. Because I've seen people do that and literally enter into marriages that they regret. And I always tell myself, it is better for me not to be married than for me to go into marriage and in the next 1 or 2 months, I'm complaining about the marriage and maybe even contemplating leaving it.
Right.
At the end of
Yeah.
the day, it is better for me to have been single
Mhm.
than doing that. Because that would be more painful, that would be more traumatic than you never even had it at all. So I'm pretty sure she knows all these things. And I feel like she's just saying everything as it is and just like, you know what? I'm gonna ignore it because this guy be looking cute. Yeah. And that's what's making her
Mm.
um act so crazy. That's what's making her behave so crazy, do things crazily, always wanting to be on the attacking mode. And I'm telling you, watching this episode, the way Quinton is, I'm pretty sure that he was allowing and accepting and being like, okay, talking to her calmly when she behaves like that. I'm pretty sure if they were outside in the real world, no cameras, nothing, he would have given her a stern warning, like, babes, don't try that again.
Right. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Because you could just tell by his face he didn't like it. You know.
you could tell by
I
his
mean,
face that he was
yeah,
shocked, like, where is this coming from?
yeah.
How did
She
it
went
get from there to
overboard.
there?
Yeah, her mouth went overboard. And there was no pulling her back. There was no controlling her. So that's something he's gonna have to deal with if he does pursue a relationship with her. That's something he's gonna have to deal with because he sees how she is. I mean, she's been like this through the whole taping of everything.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
she seems like that she would be the type of person if you guys are in the mall and you happen to turn around and look at something in the window, she's gonna swear you was looking at the girl that was over there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She seems like she's gonna always find a reason to be jealous. Now, to me, that's a red flag. I don't need somebody who's always gonna be jealous. Somebody who's gonna tell me, "Hey, don't look over there. Look over here. Don't stand here. Stand there." You know what I'm saying? I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
do it. I could not do it. So kudos to Quentin if he can. you know,
Hmm.
but he's gonna be in a world of trouble with Janelle because she's more like a auntie. I'm gonna put you in timeout if you don't do what I say.
Hmm. That would be very funny. Yeah. That would be overly excessively funny. But at the end of the day, um, I'll say, um, let's just see how it play out. I'm literally anticipating next week's episode because I don't want to talk on it because I
Right.
just don't want to, talk things. Then on the episode, we'll now get a better perspective of how things played out. So I don't want to jump into conclusion. What I want to see how it will play out next week. But before we come to an end, who do you think will be going home? Jessica or Sierra?
Ah, I kind of think Sierra might be going home, because she really didn't make a connection. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see her like really putting forth the effort to make a connection with anybody, where Jessica, she put in a little bit of effort, just a little
Yeah.
bit, not a lot, just a little. I feel like Jessica put in a little bit more effort than Sierra did.
So the comment section said that she feels like Jessica will be the one going home.
You think that Jessica would be the one going home?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm reading the comment. I feel Jessica will be going home.
Mm, okay. Well, I can't wait to see who actually goes home.
At the end of the day, I'm just aiming waiting for the reunion because I feel like the season is coming to an end very soon. The season is coming because after this house episodes, the episodes are no longer that much. So I'm literally waiting for that to end. Or do you have anything to like round it up?
Well, other than just can't wait to the next show, I kind of seen like a preview of it, you know, um, and yeah, when they were fishing and Janelle yelling out to Quinton, it's like she doesn't let him do anything without her in the mix, and I'm kind of curious to find out who was Chris talking to. Who was he going off on? So yeah, I'm really vested in the next episode. I want to see.
Yeah, even me. I'm very, very invested in the next episode to see how that will literally play out.
Most,
No,
most
let's just see
definitely.
how that will play. Let's see whether Chris can be able to redeem himself by the things he said, or whether she will be able to redeem herself or dig herself into a deeper hole than it is. And let's see whether Queen will be able to stand his girlfriend or his connection behaving the way she's behaving. Well, guys, thank you for joining us on today's review and recap of the Rehab. So, sorry, of Ready to Love Season 8, Episode 9. Don't forget to click on the subscription button down below to subscribe to our channel, like and comment on our videos, guys. The more you like on our videos, the more YouTube recommend our videos. And also, guys, you can also join our membership. It's always nice when you go around and you see you have members. I don't have any members right now, but you can go ahead and join our membership and support the channel. Well, I will see you guys next
All
time.
right.
Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us.
All right. You have a good one. I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right. Bye bye.